Hey there. Welcome to the Eurostep, a Milwaukee Bucks podcast, proudly a part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network and GSPN. I am one of your hosts, Ty Windisch, joined as always by my lovely co-host, Rohan Katti, and our lovely friends at Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. We will talk more about them later, but just know code Eurostep gets you $50 when you play $5, win or lose. Rohan and I lost today. We'll talk about that a bit later, but first, Rohan, we're going to talk about the streaking Milwaukee Bucks. No team hotter in the NBA. 7 straight wins and all 4 group stage wins of the NBA Cup after a dismantling of the Detroit Pistons. I think I've got a good idea after we've been excitedly tracking NBA Cup scenarios live here for the last
like half an hour,
15 minutes. I was going to say 15 minutes generously. It's been a lot longer. We're going full Kornacki. I think next year we're going to do the live show just this whole night, clinching night, and figure out what's happening. But how's it going, sir?
Doing well. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving harvest holiday. Hope everyone got some Black Friday shopping in, some Cyber Monday. Did you get anything fun, Ty?
I don't think so. I'm not much of a shopper. No, because you know why? I just feel like if I got into it too much, there would just be stuff arriving every day. It's too easy now. And I feel like I only try and go look if I actually need something.
That's fair. I got a new monitor. Things are good. Got a new watch. Things are good.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah.
Are you wearing it? Or do you not have it yet?
No, I have it. I'm not wearing it though.
Oh, okay. We'll save that debut for a big time moment here.
No, people are going to get mad at me.
Okay, well, we won't have that debut then. Regardless, we do know now the Bucks will be playing the Orlando Magic in the first game of the knockout round. That game will be in Milwaukee because the Bucks secured the 1 seed, as I mentioned, for the second straight year, which we looked up, in the NBA Cup, formerly known as the IST in-season tournament. But before we look ahead to the Cup, which I am excited about. Somebody tweeted at me, these media people, you guys paid to be excited about the Cup? No, it's fun and it's basketball. Why would I not? That'd be great. NBA if you want to. I mean, I feel like we've
I appreciate it. They respect us that much that they think we're getting paid to say good things.
But Adam Silver slid through and applauded
that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Rohan's going to be iced out on the next pod with that Adam Silver check.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
We'll talk about it every single pod if they pay us to. But no, it's just fun. It's a fun thing. And I think then the Bucks, there's some quotes about this, like kind of help get the Bucks back on track this year.
Yeah, it did. It's competitive basketball, which helps fuel a team that needs to catch its stride and figure it out, turn around the season, which is exactly what the Bucks did and have done in this time. We've talked about it before, but yeah, the NBA Cup, these games have been really, really crucial for helping the Bucks really find that fire, have something to really, really play for, have a like there was already an excuse for them to say like, oh, we have a fire burning under us to say, hey, we need to turn this ship around. But now there's actual like money at play.
Yeah. 500K. Oh my! I think it was bought in our Discord. GSPN.info. The link is under the About tab. Posted the famous LeBron kind of like hunched over, real focused pic. You know what I'm talking about, Rohan?
Game 6 LeBron. Yeah.
Yeah. Doc Rivers when there's 500K on the line. I don't know if the coaches get any. Do you think Doc is going around? Oh, I could just imagine him going around like, Giannis, let me get part of your share.
You don't need it, do you?
You're good.
Giannis, you don't really need that, do you?
No, Giannis isn't the right guy. Giannis is keeping it for diapers. He's going to need even more. Really need it, do you? Yeah, Dame. He's going to Dame. He's going to Dame for sure. That's so funny. Darvin Ham now 8-0 in knockout round games, as are the Milwaukee Bucks. Taurean Prince and all the Bucks guys who were here last year as well.
Honestly, yeah, I'm not going to go through the entire
No, not knockout. Sorry, group stage games. Group. Yeah. Taurean Prince is 10-0 in NBA Cup games, as is Darvin. So congrats to them. But before we go anywhere else, wait, what did you say?
11-0 because there's 8 group stage games, quarterfinal, semifinal.
Oh yeah, you're right. There's 3. Sorry, 11-0. Excuse me, TP and Darvin. We got to talk about Giannis, and we joke about this. We did it with Dame. We waited until the very end of our last pod, I believe, to talk about a great Dame game. We'll talk about Dame earlier. He had another excellent game as well. Giannis in the game, he actually, the turnovers were what they were. Detroit sent some really good doubles. I think we can safely talk about the middies now. Because what was it, like the game before this Giannis played? You're not Rohan's not sure, it seems.
I'm just checking the energy in the room,
What is it? I listen. What do you make? 5 tonight? I mean, I can try to pull up. I don't know if that part of the box score is live yet. Maybe it is. It is. Let's see. Giannis was 5 for 6 from what I would call mid-range. I mean, outside of the paint baseline, 1 right in front of free throw. That's a midi. 5 of 6 from mid-range in this game. I believe he was only trailing DeMar DeRozan for mid-rangers made in the NBA this season. Coming into the game, he might be getting up there with DeMar. I mean, DeMar's probably missed some time here. Giannis has too. But it's been a big part of his game this season. And he kind of went cold. What was the Wizards game, I think? Yeah, the Wizards game. And I was like, okay, maybe it's just over now. And it could still end. This feels like, though, the longest, most sustained success he's had with the midi since, was that like the title season or right after? One of those years.
It was that. Like, nothing reached these heights, right?
No, this is higher. But like even, I don't think it had been that long since it felt good at all for a suspended period, I feel like.
Yeah, last year was kind of a weird year for Giannis and his jumper. His volume was way, way down compared to previous years. This year, his volume is up, but just on middies. He's not taking any threes whatsoever.
Has he made one?
He's made
one? Oh, he's made 3. Okay. Made a couple. Okay.
But his volume is way down compared to years previous to last year. And I think it's just been focused on getting more efficient. And that's what we're seeing, right? These mid-range shots that Giannis is making they seem like normal to him. They seem like just in rhythm. Marcus Johnson, the Stooley, pointed this out on the broadcast. So happy Marcus is back. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, enough said.
Yeah, no more Steve. But as Stooley pointed out, he's making these shots and taking these shots in rhythm. He's not trying to force it. He's not trying to prove anything to anyone. I think he's at a stage of his career where it doesn't matter. Not like this has ever mattered to Giannis, like what the outside pressure is or anything like that. But you always hear it, right? Like you would hear about Giannis wanting to make these jumpers. Remember the shot where he became the all-time leading scorer?
With one stroke! Yes, I do.
Incredible. Who could forget? He said after the fact he wanted to pass Kareem on a 3. He wanted it to be a jump shot. That's the Giannis of the past, not the Giannis of the present, where he's more confident in himself, not trying to focus on narratives, and he's trying to make sure that he is growing himself as a basketball player. He's growing himself inside out. We're seeing this. He's not taking a high volume of threes because he's focusing on the mid-range, start step by step, get that going. Maybe next year we see an increase in volume of threes. It's a process for him that I believe he's going through. And no matter how, if you want to say it's late or something, whatever, at least it's happening.
Yeah, I mean the real truth of it is, I don't know if he really needs a 3, if this is going to be real. Because you're seeing in real time, he's breaking defenders' brains with these going in. I mean, Beef Stew jumps into him as he flails for a 3-point foul. If he's not knocking down 5 middies in that game, you're not going to contest a 3, right? It's defenders are having to make these choices, and you can see their brains getting pretzeled up in real time. Oh, okay, I'm just going to let him shoot. Knocks down 2, knocks down 3. Okay, you can't just watch someone hit a shot 3 times in a row. You know what I mean? It's just so hard mentally, I think, to go, we're just going to let him keep doing it. Unless you're Mike Budenholzer coaching against Grant Williams, get well soon. Usually,
something happened to Bud. Oh wait, Grant Williams.
Grant Williams. No, Bud is fine as far as I know.
Get well soon, Grant.
Usually, a guy knocks down 3 shots that you give him around there. That's when the defense changes, right? Okay, we can't give it up. He's in rhythm now. Basketball is certainly a rhythm sport. We're got to do something about it. You see Giannis knock down even just 1 or 2 of them sometimes in a quarter. And then suddenly that defender takes that extra step and he's right by him to the rim, or he's able to draw that foul. And that's just a huge deal for Giannis going forward. And I've seen a lot of people, the reaction is oh, it's big, to extend his career and everything else. Yeah, that's great. It's also big, just to make him a more dominant player now. I mean, there's all this 5-year plan stuff. I care about 2025. in the meantime, and this last month, right? But mostly the 2025 part of the season here. It's a big deal for that. I mean, it makes him that much harder to guard. It makes the team that much harder to guard around him, and the Bucks team offense was humming. I'm pulling it up now, by the way. Going back to 2020-21, Giannis has shot below 40% from mid-range in almost all of those seasons, so the title run and since. It was 2021. That was what we considered like a success. He was at 41.5% from mid-range, which is like good but not great. It's not even that good. DeMar that year was 47. DeMar, of course, is always the gold standard, but below 40 most of the rest of the time, which is bad. This season, 48%. I don't know if that is this game or not. It would go up if it didn't. And he's also third in field goals made per game from the mid-range. NBA stats says Brandon Ingram is higher. I don't know if that's like a total middies made thing or what, but a higher percentage on mid-range than Brandon Ingram, than Kevin Durant, Jamal Murray, Paul George, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Brunson. So he's been an elite mid-range player this year. That's crazy. I mean, if that persists even close to this, he's not guardable. There's nothing you can do. There's simply nothing.
It's not, if he doesn't even have to stay at the top. That's the thing, right?
No, even 45% is fine.
Exactly. Like if he just let's say he tapers off a cliff. Like, not going with that doesn't happen. If he's still middle of the pack in terms of efficiency for a season, that's a massive win.
Yeah. It makes him totally unguardable. You can't build a barrier against him.
And that's why he's leading the league in scoring.
Yes. If the barrier assembles and he's willing to say, oh, you guys have three guys who are, 4 feet back guarding off the rim, I'm just going to shoot over all of you. And if it goes into that clip, then you're cooked. There's just nothing you can do. Anything else obviously, I think that's the big thing. Anything else that sprang out to you about Giannis, who, again, taking half of his shots from the mid-range area, was 10 of 11 against Detroit, 90.9% from the field, 28, 7, and 8 for Giannis, plus a pretty monstrous block. Did have the 6 turnovers. Again, didn't make some great decisions when Detroit doubled. Detroit did a really good job. JB Bickerstaff's a good defensive coach, but still a great overall game from Giannis, of course.
Yeah, plus the Pistons have a lot of young, rangy, athletic defenders that kind of give Giannis
strong
trouble.
Too.
And they're all fouling out, so it doesn't even matter. Beef Stew fouled out. What did Duren have? 5?
Yep. I don't think he fouled out, but they picked up the 5th one late.
Yeah, we had to have a B-ball Paul sighting, which is not good in the year.
He hit a 3. I was trying to trade Bobby for almost everyone on this Pistons roster during the game. We'll get there.
Not B-ball Paul. I saw your Fontecchio thing, and I didn't say anything about it, but we'll see. But yeah, Giannis just absurdly dominant as always, and the reason that the Bucks are now 2 games above 500.
Yeah, and closing in on home court about I believe a game and a half away once this Knicks result is logged because they beat the Magic by a lot. The other reason I think Giannis has looked so dominant and been able to lead, his scoring margin dipped with only scoring 28. He only played 28 points in less than 28 minutes. It's classic Giannis. The other reason is the Bucks offense, the shooting around him has been absurd. And I mean, pretty much every player that we were worried about to start the year has caught fire in a pretty ridiculous way. And the most important, of course, is Damian Lillard. We'll do what we never do. We'll talk about Giannis first, then Dame second. But the way Dame is playing right now, these last 2 games, I would say, it feels like his and Giannis' chemistry continues to improve. He's in the right spots. Seems like he's more comfortable in the Chris Middleton, one pass away role and just knocking those down. I mean, Dame is 5 from 11 from deep, 9 for 17 from the field, all 4 of his free throws, added 5 assists, 4 boards, only 3 turnovers, 27 points in 31 minutes. I mean, these two are just... When Dame hits shots like that, the Bucks, I already said Giannis is not guardable. Their team, there's just nothing you can do. No. Forget the other guys on the court. It's nice when they hit shots, they go up by a huge margin.
No, there's one guy I want to talk about in particular, but we're going to talk about him after Dame.
Yeah.
But there's just nothing you can do.
I mean, this is how you win 4 playoff series. It's having 2 guys like this, where it's just all right, we played great defense for 20 seconds. It just didn't matter at all.
You have 2 apex predators, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Dame my definition of apex predator is guy who's proven he can be the best player on a title team. So Dame is not one, but he's playing like one. He really is. He's playing like a guy who's capable of dominating within his role, able to get other teammates involved, able to play within the flow of the game, and now he's hitting shots. He's hitting FU shots. He's nailed that sort of hard drive, little step back at the elbow. That's his go-to nowadays. That's how he gets going. And once he gets going there, he's just bombing away from distance. I mean, 5 of 11 tonight, which you'll take any day of the week. Like, oh my goodness. And then even against the Wizards, on Saturday, what did he have? He was 5 of 9 from distance.
Yeah, he's dialed in right now.
Consistently making like at least 3 or 4 threes a game. And you're like, oh yeah, that's Damian Lillard.
I feel like they're hunting him out a lot more. I mean, I felt like last season you'd see like Giannis with the tension around him and Dame's kind of open. And they didn't make the pass enough. And when they did, Dame didn't shoot it enough. Right now, like if Giannis is at the elbow and that helper off Dame moves at all, Giannis is just saying, all right, cool. I'd like Dame to hit this shot more than he doesn't. And again, it's just like it shreds you as a defense. Because now you're like, all right, where do we help from? Are we leaving someone open under the rim? That's not advised to do, right? That's not one pass to a dunk. That doesn't feel great. Are we sending someone from all the way across court? Well, we know Giannis can wrap around the whole team and make any pass. Like, they're in such a rhythm. I have a take for you, though.
Ooh, let's hear it.
This is not to denigrate Damian Lillard, which I have a history of doing on this podcast, unfortunately.
He's a little guy.
He's a handsome, adorable little fella. The winning streak started when the offense specifically and kind of just the team, it was like it shifted to being Giannis running the show and Dame being the 2 guy.
Yeah, which is how.
And Dame still has the ball a lot. Again, it's always been they should both have the ball a lot. And I think Dame, you could say, is like a better true point guard. Giannis is just a more dominant player and a more consistent player, I think, because the 3-point shooting is more streaky. And I think they've made this somewhat subtle shift to it being, all right, Giannis runs the offense and Dame is like always around. I think that's made them better.
Yeah, it has. You've noticed that Giannis catches the ball like top of the key free throw line area and is just calling out the entire offense.
Yeah.
Setting guys up for screens, like telling people where to go, where to clear out, and calling out every action. He's quarterbacking this offense right now, which is weird because that's traditionally a Chris Middleton role, but we'll see what happens when he comes back. If he comes back. Does Chris Middleton exist? Okay.
I think so. I was watching this first half, just like imagine now how good they look. They scored 78 points in the first half. Giannis missed 2 free throws. He had an overall solid shooting game from free throw. Missed 2 to end it, though. Could have had an 80-point half, which is obscene. And now imagine just dropping Chris Middleton back into this. That's going to be fun.
But yeah, Giannis quarterbacking the offense. And I think you rightly point out that Dame has the ball still a lot.
Yes,
because it's more of Giannis being a finisher more than like a playmaker. And that's not to say that Giannis isn't a playmaker. He obviously is. But it's more of like Dame setting guys up, using Dame's gravity as a weapon to enhance his own offense, which I think has really, really opened up this Bucks team. Because it's flowing through Giannis, but it's also flowing through Dame, where it's like you're using Dame as a weapon to really help set up Giannis. We've seen Chris Middleton do that a lot for the Bucks, and it's just a supercharged version of Chris Middleton, like a better version of Chris Middleton in that role, being read like, yeah, Giannis is a great finisher. Giannis is a great player. I'm going to put the ball in Chris's hands, let him set up Giannis. That's what we're seeing with Dame. And this is exactly what we wanted this pairing to look like.
Yes.
And it's finally happening, Ty. And look at that. They're winning basketball games because of it. Who would have thought?
In the Bucks' last 10 games, Dame is averaging 9.1 assists per game, and Giannis is averaging 8.2 assists per game. For the season on a whole, those numbers are lower because the Bucks' offense was rough to start the year.
Yeah, but those two are just... The other guys, ancillary guys, are catching fire, which helps boost assist numbers.
Who did you want to talk about first? Because I want to blaze through some of these role players. This has been a tour de force from these since like early-ish November for so many different role players on the Bucks. I'm excited. I don't even know who I can't even think of.
There's one guy. There's one guy who stood up above the rest.
I think I know who it is.
Taurean Prince.
Yeah. Most consistent by far.
Most consistent by far. He's doing way more than I thought he would. Like he's rotating on the interior on defense. He's throwing crazy throw Dame open in the corner passes
Oh my
for
God,
him.
that pass.
I'm like, wait, who threw that? That was Taurean Prince?
Yeah.
What? This guy is nailing the flow of the offense. Like, I know I keep saying, but he is really, really playing and humming with this Bucks team. It's so good. I don't know how you bench him when Chris comes back.
It's going to be hard. I mean, I do you think about just doing Dame, Prince, Chris, Giannis, Brooke? I mean, I feel like
I don't like
Ajax has been so important. I don't either, but Prince has been so good. Are you now a Chris Middleton off the bench truther?
I was going to ask that earnestly, but now I don't feel like it's worth it.
I think he's going to start there. It's going to be hard, man. I mean, TP, one of only 2 Bucks to start every game this season, him and Brooke. And he's earned it, man. Like, he has been phenomenal. I mean, this Detroit game, he made all 4 of his threes. So the NBA's top 3-point shooter improves his plus, like, what, I think it was like 52 or 54% coming in. It's going to be a little higher now. But also, to your point, adds 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Like, he's everywhere. He's just doing helpful things, even in the few games. And for him, that's like 1 for 3 from deep when his shot isn't on the way he started the year. But even in the games where he's not making a lot of threes, he's just always doing something good. I mean, defensively, he's tipping a lot of passes. Like, the rebounding, the rotating. Like, he had a quote recently that was something like, "This is my first year of my career when I went out there with like no statistical or any sort of like expectations to like quantify my play. Like, I'm just going out there." I think his words were like leaving it up to God, basically just going out there and playing. It's going awesome for him. I think every player should try that the way it's working out for Taurean Prince.
He's mastering his own role. He really is. I just think, and the greatest thing about him is his confidence. Like, compare him with a guy like DeLon Wright. Next Bucks game. Here's a homework assignment for all the listeners. Whenever Taurean Prince catches the ball, he knows exactly what he's going to do next.
Yep.
Like, look at the reaction time from the catch on the perimeter between Taurean Prince and DeLon Wright. Look at it. Like, that's just let's see what you come up with, and tweet me or see me on Blue Sky or whatever about it. But it's so quick, his decision.
It's fluid.
It's so quick. It's so fluid. And that's what I mean. Like, he's playing within the flow of the offense because he knows exactly what he's going to do before he even catches the ball. He's reading the defense and making plays to help set other guys up. And other guys are moving accordingly. It's just beautiful. Like, I say compare it to DeLon Wright because I see every game. There's always 3 possessions. We got to talk about DeLon Wright at some point. But because Ryan Rollins exists, we know this now.
Yeah, looked a little jagged, but he just got garbage time. So I'm not going to judge him too harshly on that. Yeah.
Taurean Prince catches the ball on the wing, and he's immediately shooting it or dribbling out of it. DeLon Wright catches it. He's like, I'm like, is he going to shoot it? And it's just, oh no, he brings it down. And then
you can tell the issue is, sorry to cut you off, he doesn't want to shoot it.
No, that's the problem. It's the confidence.
That's what goes into every. Yeah. I mean, it's not just confidence. It might be like an astute observation from his part, the way he is shooting the ball right now. But he doesn't want to shoot it. That's for sure.
That's the thing. He's not shooting, which is a problem.
No,
it's like George Hill. It's like he's a good player. He's worse than George Hill.
I was going to say, don't even late stage George.
Which is bad.
Don't do this.
When they signed him, I was like, oh, he could be the Bucks version of George Hill.
I know. We're taking L's on the DeLon Wright takes for sure. He's DeLon wrong.
But we're seeing, like, if you see DeLon Wright, he's just not shooting, which isn't good. It doesn't help the team. And again, he's a plus on defense. Like, he's always a plus minus darling because he makes good plays and good plays on defense, especially. And even on offense, if he's not shooting, he's setting guys up in good spots and moving accordingly. But it's just, you got to do something. At some point, you just got to shoot the ball. This was our biggest problem with Ajax, right? At least Ajax is shooting the ball now.
Ajax, I mean, to quickly touch on Ajax, obviously the defense has been really good. He's been very impactful. The way he's actually driving to the rim now, I mean, he got blocked at the rim when Giannis passed it to him. Wasn't even mad because he went up and tried to dunk it. He goes to the rim on a different one where 2 guys go with Giannis, and he just gets there and finishes. He takes 4 threes, makes 2 of them. No hesitation on any of them. Even Ajax, the second-year guy who's like teams dare him to shoot. I mean, imagine the pressure when you're out there with Giannis and Dame and you get the ball and you're open, right? Like we could see earlier in his career, the pressure got to Ajax. Not anymore. He's making good decisions. Sometimes Doc pulls him because he's like, all right, you're shooting a lot and it's not working. That's not bad, but you got to come out of the game for a bit. He is making the better decisions than DeLon Wright right now, who it just feels like, again, like nothing is going right for him offensively at all. I mean, he can barely dribble into a set. Like if there's any ball pressure, it's just not going to go well for him.
No, you're relying sometimes on AJ Green to be a ball handler, bringing the ball up the floor.
It's not good.
We're like, that might be worse.
Pat Connaughton's like looking like I got some job security still. They're going to keep me around for a bit longer.
Not so easy to have a role player who can't bring the ball up the floor.
Pat C's got a better handle than he does, which is sure something.
Only Bucky didn't play.
Yeah. I mean, it made sense. Once you get to garbage time, it's like let the young guys do their thing. But DeLon Wright, yeah, it's been bad.
Yeah, I ask this question every podcast, but what does he do? Like, show me what
he defends. He defends. Yeah. Outside of that, then it's like I don't know.
Show me what your role is on this team.
I think he's the guy who's going to disappear when Chris is back.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I've heard that comment, like, oh, you can't cut Prince's minutes. I agree. Prince played 24 minutes in this game. He could have played more. He's been awesome. So would not want to cut his. Maybe he doesn't start anymore. To your point, that's something they'll have to figure out. Doc will have to figure out. He'll probably talk about how difficult it is, sincerely. But I think Wright's the one that makes sense to just totally. And then there'll be less minutes for other guys still. I mean, DeLon played 16 minutes in this game, but I think he's the first guy. Maybe a little less Bobby, too. Maybe move Ajax to the 4 a little bit more.
I don't know. Could be interesting. You still need a little bit of that scoring punch off the bench, but do you if you have Gary Trent Jr.?
I mean, well, before we get to Gary, who thrilled me in this game, Gary and AJ Green and Taurean Prince, like, okay, that's like, if those are bench players on the team now. I mean, are we finally going to actually have a Bucks team we called deep end up being a deep team, which we've been trying to manifest for years? I mean, if that's the bench, and like even just put Bobby aside for now, who's still obviously going to play, but if you're bringing Taurean Prince, AJ Green, Gary Trent Jr. all off the bench, maybe we sprinkle in a Ryan Rollins plus Bobby if he's still here. Like that's a good bench. But I want to talk before we talk about Gary Trent, who has really been awesome lately. Talking about Prize Picks, which is always awesome. America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. More than 10 million members, on the way to 100 members. 100 million members. All you do is pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long. Rohan and I both played Prize Picks projections for this game against the Pistons. We both lost. We both lost the same one, too. Brook Lopez, more than 1.5 assists. I love when we have the same one. He had a play late in this game where he could have passed it back to Dame, and he didn't, which also cost me Dame more than 36.5 points, rebounds, assists. He ended at 36. Tough scenes. But I wasn't that close to a big win anyway, because I had Malik Beasley more than 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Honestly, you know what? I'm kind of a hero. Because I was willing to take one for the team here. This is the patented reverse jinx. Like, I didn't want to see a Bees revenge game. So I thought, you know what? I'll give the Bees more than just in case. So that I get, Denzel voice. I'm leaving here with something. But it was just a good Bucks game. But then to the point of these role players, AJ Green, 10.5 PRA, had 14. Taurean Prince, 12.5, had 19. And Gary Trent, 11.5, had 21. We're finally getting AJ Green projections on Prize Picks, which is exciting.
That's how you know you made it.
Yeah. We need Ajax next. It must be just way too... No, there was Ajax. Yeah, you had Ajax. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Too volatile, though, which, yeah.
I mean, Ajax Demon Time, 4.5 rebounds. Dude's been averaging like 7 rebounds a game.
He's a volatile player.
0.
He's a volatile player.
I should have realized because he's going to spend all his time on Cade, and Cade likes to be a jump shooter now, so he's not going to be near the rim to get rebounds. Plus, these teams just weren't missing.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about this game is the Bucks were up big, and they still gave up like 60 first half points.
I know. Like you're like, oh, cool, 79 half or whatever it was. And you're like, oh, amazing. The Pistons have 60.
Yeah, that math came up quick, but make sure to download the app today. Oh, one more thing. Packers play this week. Got a 4-for-4 Prize Picks dub on Turkey Day Eve. Jaden Reed rushing yards, baby. They lowered it to 0.5. They mocked me after I lost on Jaden Reed rushing yards twice in a row. Had a huge run. Jonnu Smith, Jalen Waddle, and Jordan Love touchdowns all came through in Packers Dolphins for a big dub. So we're playing football. We're playing basketball. What do you got, Rohan?
Tucker Kraft, man. He's calling out the Lions.
Man. I got him in a fantasy team too. So actually I'm eliminated in that league, so I don't care anymore. But go Tucker. Who's South Dakota? Is that the thing?
Yeah.
They show his hometown. Now that's how you know you made it, when they put your weird hometown on the primetime broadcast. Hey, 200 people live here. Weird. Like, oh, you must be a good player.
But yeah, I'd watch out for those projections if I were you for the Packers-Lions Thursday night football game.
You gotta fire up. Do the Bucks play Thursday? No, because they play Wednesday as well.
Yeah.
I love when they both play. It's just like you go back and forth between the games. You got multiple.
Screens, yeah.
I mean, you can do it for other sports too. I'm sure there's other NBA games Thursday, right? When you sprinkle a double sports action, that's when it's really fun. So download the app today. Use code Eurostep, all one word, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. And you can also check the link in the description of this episode to find it easy, but also just open phone, App Store, Prize Picks. You can play in Wisconsin. Code Eurostep. You get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Let's talk about Scary Gary. I mean, my goodness.
Scary Gary.
Scary Gary. It's scary for the other teams now. It was scary for the Bucks earlier. His season-long numbers are still low, but he's been on an absolute heater from deep. Against the Pistons, he was making the twos, some tough twos as well. Ended up 6 of 12 from the field, 5 of 3 from deep, which is great. He also had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. There was a point in this game when he and Prince just had the Pistons in hell. I mean, it was like 4 straight possessions. They just locked them up. Gary's defense was phenomenal too, which is great to see, because early in the year, it was like, oh, are they asking too much of him defensively? Is that what's working against him? Maybe he's just a streaky player. I don't know. But big props to Gary Trent, who was, remember, like taken out of the rotation, like benched, really benched, and has just come back on an absolute heater versus we thought, is this going to get ugly? Like, are they going to have to Torrey Craig him? Suddenly it's like, oh man, he could fight for a starting spot too, the way he's playing. He has just been great on both ends lately. And that's, again, him hitting all these threes with these other guys, huge part of the reason they've been able to win all these games.
Oh, 100%. I know like the previous 2 games prior to this Pistons game, he didn't make a 3. But like before that, 4 3, 6 threes, 3, 4, 2, 3. It's like, oh my God. And then against the Pistons, what did he have? He was 1 of 2
3.
With 3 of 5 from 3.
3 of 5.
I was looking at free throws for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just consistently making multiple threes off the bench. And it's the confidence again. Like he's pulling and shooting right away. And he has gotten the trust of his teammates in a big way. He's playing with a lot of confidence, playing with a lot of energy, consistently firing up the team in huddles, which I think is good. Just playing his game. He's being Gary Trent Jr. I truly think after injury, he kind of got fixed.
Yeah. Yeah, that I didn't mention that the injury as well certainly played in, dealing with a couple things to start the year. I think this is emblematic of a larger trend for this team, kind of Gary's story this season. Like 2-8, things could have gotten really bad. I mean, the Sixers, they barely held on against the Hornets without LaMelo, right? Or is LaMelo in? Did I make that up?
No,
I think LaMelo's out.
LaMelo's out.
They ended up winning by 6. It was like a 2-point game in the last minute. I think it was actually tied. Whatever. It could be there. Instead, from that point, they buckle down. There's not like some dramatic, they haven't obviously made a trade. They incorporated more of the young guys into the rotation, but it's a lot of the same players. I mean, at this point with Chris out, it's really just Pat Connaughton out. And as much as people have their qualms about Pat C, that's not the only difference here, is that Pat Connaughton is no longer playing. The win streak started when he was still playing. I think a lot of guys just like hung in there and got through it, and they worked through issues they were having as a team, execution-wise and with the scheme, and just got sharper. As well as, I mean, the classic play better button has worked for guys like Trent as well. Maybe kind of just him. Bobby Portis is shooting the ball really well, but whatever. I just think it's a really cool thing that they've done. Ajax has played a lot better for sure and has hit some shots. I just think like as a team, they just buckled down. Like it wasn't anything like, this roster move or one specific coaching thing, I think, that changed them. I know we focused on the young guys a lot. The vets are playing better too, though. Like I kind of think they just buckled down and came together and like decided, no, we're not going to be the team that flames out and, everyone demands a trade and we're done, right? Like let's just figure it out and play better and play together more. That's exactly, we were yelling, they never passed. There was no ball movement. The offense has been beautiful lately. I mean, it's gorgeous. Everyone's involved.
Brooke Lopez is making touch behind the head passes.
I mean, did we get robbed of an assist on that?
Did he? Was that his one assist?
Maybe that was it. That was his only. That'd be hilarious. That was his only assist. It's just been great though, and I think Doc got an upstock for this Pistons win.
That did count as his assist, by the way.
That was it. Wow, that's hilarious. God, I could have done it one more time. Doc, huge credit to Doc because a lot of this is coaching, and we saw last year. I mean, they had a great record, but things got tough, and Griffin lost it. Right, couldn't hold on, and got mutinied. Whatever Doc did, and the infamous or maybe famous now. Have you seen the NBA Sentinel post?
Yes.
So it's a fake post. It's not real, but it's just funny. Not always funny. In this case, funny. Like, Doc said he's gonna. Doc told the Bucks ownership he's going to lock in.
Yeah, Doc Rivers has informed the Bucks he'll start taking coaching quotes seriously now.
And since that, they've been incredible. It's like 10-1 or 9-1 since then. Very funny stuff. But it does and I love watching him on the sidelines. Like he coaches up the young guys a bunch. We'll talk about the young garbage time Bucks. They had like three really fun minutes toward the end of this game. But like he pulled Giannis aside and gave him a note. Like he's just like he's working hard. I feel like there was this idea that like, oh, he's just, phoning it in, like getting the check. He's out here grinding, man. And the results show. It's been just a night and day difference how fun it is to watch this team.
100%. Like this team is fun. And I know they haven't played like the best teams in the NBA.
They played some solid teams.
I know they played good teams, but it's like
I saw Houston top 5 in the power rankings recently.
Houston was number 2 in the West, I think.
Yeah.
But that's their best win on the season. And what I'm trying to say is that it hasn't been the greatest competition, right? But you need to start somewhere. They were playing bad teams and still losing. You need to be able to turn it around and like see some victories. It's like basketball. You need to see the shot go in sometimes. Seriously. And that's just winning a game. And now, because you have that confidence, you can go into these teams. You can go and play Boston on Friday. Sorry. I should be more confident when saying that. On Friday. You can play in the NBA Cup against the Magic. You can advance far in the NBA Cup. I won't say anything more than that. But
and then Cleveland after. Cleveland's your first game post-Cup in Cleveland. So now there'll be some good teams and then a lot more bad teams after that.
Yeah. Good thing is that's mostly East. So but you have these opportunities now to get yourself together. Like you just need to calm yourself down. You need to gather yourself. And that's what the Bucks have done. And a lot of credit, to Doc Rivers and his 3 rows of assistants for really like making this happen. And
I'll say Greg Buckner, I'll call out, who I called out in a negative sense earlier. They just tightened it up. Like it just makes more sense now. I think schematically they do some things different.
They're not miscommunicating on switches or like high hedges a lot. They're not. They're really not.
Their rotations look a lot better. Their scrams look good when they just don't even do that as much. I feel like lately they've just trusted Brooke Lopez, but it's like the Bucks of old. Simpler. Like they're greater on the rim again.
Yeah, because you got Brooke Lopez and Giannis.
Yeah, it turns out that's good. And I think that's why Doc tends to go with 2 bigs always in the rotation. Like he'll go with a Bobby Brooke.
Always. Here's the thing. I don't like the Bobby and Brooke.
I don't like any of the Bobby lineups. There's not a Bobby lineup where I'm like, this is great for the team.
That's fair.
I've had enough. I mean, Simone Fontecchio destroys him at the rim. And then tips in end of quarter shot where he just doesn't even pretend to box out.
He tries to poster someone. Like, who do you think you are?
Little T-Rex arms. It's just, I can't do it anymore. I really can't. I mean, he had a good game. That's great. He's not for this team anymore. They just have to. Give me B-Ball Paul. Give me Simone Fontecchio.
No, not B-Ball Paul. No, I will not accept B-Ball Paul. This is an NBA champion.
So is Pat Connaughton. Do you want more of him?
This is a guy who closed out the finals.
So is Jeff Teague. Do you want him? Not that part, but call him up.
Listen, I'm trying.
PJ Tucker. If PJ Tucker was out there,
I'm trying to drive up some value here, Ty.
Oh, good luck.
I'm saying he's worth more than Paul Reed, Ty.
I'm not even thinking. I'm not looking at this from a what's a good NBA trade perspective.
I think it's a bad trade if you trade Bobby for Paul Reed.
Probably is. Do you think it would make them more or less enjoyable to watch?
Less.
Really?
I think it would make them less enjoyable to watch. Yes. Paul Reed is not a good basketball player. For whatever you think of Bobby Portis, Paul Reed is not a good basketball player.
I'm not advocating for that specific trade. What about Fontecchio?
Fontecchio is a little more enticing.
He looked huge in this game. I was like, dude, is Fontecchio in the Captain America or I guess Captain Italy program? Like, I feel like he looks gargantuan.
Like
6'7".
There's no way that dude's 6'7".
He looked like a 6'10" Hulk out there. I was like, who is this guy?
Did he take a trip to Germany?
He definitely. I think he might have seen all of Europe. He might have seen every country. He tried one of everything and came back this year. I don't know, man.
Got whatever Kawhi got.
Something better than that, clearly.
Oh my goodness! But what about would you trade Bobby for Isaiah Stewart?
No, because I don't respect him as a player. Try hard, tough guy. Really? Not interested.
Is that not Bobby Portis?
Bobby Portis doesn't actually fight people, though.
So it's worse.
No, I don't think it is. I think Beef Stew is he's not even like an enforcer. He's just aggressive.
He just likes to fight people.
Yeah, it just makes me uncomfortable. I'm watching him play against the Bucks. I'm like, is he just going to punch someone in the face right now? He got mad at the ref. I was like, is he going to suplex this referee? Like, it's uncomfortable. There's like an air of tension going. I don't enjoy it. I don't want to watch him more. No, I'm all in on the Time Lord gamble, though.
Time Lords, yeah.
Because if it works, like it works so well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an insane player to add. He looks the part again, not all the way, but really good defensively again.
Yeah. Is he back after his concussion?
I think he had just returned. The Bucks have a track record of players playing really well post-concussion, too.
They do. Damian Lillard?
Yeah, with a little bit of a break, at least. I mean, not right away, but now. Time Lord might be shooting 5 of 11 from 3. That's one. That's a good track record. It's not a common NBA injury.
Are the Blazers playing right now?
Their freaking center rotation. He might still not be in the game.
It looks like he is active for this game.
Let's see. It's really early in Blazers Clippers he is active.
Okay.
He's one of the
first
12.
Game back since November 25th.
Or maybe they're showing 15 here. I don't think you can have. Doesn't matter. Yeah. So let's see how he looks. Even though I say that, I'm still like, yeah. I'm vacillating on Larry Nance.
I mean, he's played 7 games this season.
That's pretty good for him.
It's bad normally, though.
Yeah. But also, I don't know how many of those
out of 22 games.
Some of those might be actual DMPs, though, because they have so many centers. But it's not. It's not his fault.
Okay, so he has 4 DNPs. He has 5 did not dress, and he has 5 inactives.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the last 9 if those were all injury or not, but. The DMPs, like, they want to see Klingon. They're trying to trade Ayton. Duop is still there. Like that, it's just a badly built roster that is not trying to win basketball games.
But you were saying something about Larry Nance?
I'm vacillating. I don't know. I feel like the window's been missed. Nick Richards is
a good name.
Very expendable with Diabate coming on. They got too many young big guys now.
What about Diabate?
I want the more polished Richards.
That's fair. Is he polished?
I think he's more polished than Diabate. It's just like crashing in there. Diabate would fall out of every game as a Buck.
Is that fine?
He's very aggressive on the. It's not the end of the world,
right? Like in that role, I don't think it matters. We've dealt with Ajax.
I wish I had a take on Day'Ron Sharp. I read on Hoops Hype Day'Ron Sharp could be. I don't know. I have nothing. No conception of Day'Ron Sharp.
I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to be
I don't know. I couldn't break that one down for you.
I could make something up, but that's disingenuous to listeners.
Let's talk about the games again. This is my fault. I did this, but they're playing well.
It's a good conversation to have, because even though it's good that we're having this conversation after a game where Bobby plays well, because you see Bobby playing well does not necessarily mean everything for a team, right? Like if Bobby did not play in this game, the Bucks still win comfortably.
Yeah, probably by more. They lost his minutes by 2 points, despite him shooting 4 of 7 from deep. Also true of AJ Green. Right. Oh, I can't read. No, I can read. You can't read.
No, I can read.
No, Bobby Portis was -2. DeLon Wright was +14.
I'm looking at the Wizards game. I can't read.
I win. I can read. Sucker.
It doesn't help that DeLon Wright was -2 and right under Bobby Portis for the Wizards box.
That is crazy, actually. They've been 2 of the first players to check in, it's so much the Bucks are overcoming and still winning these games.
Yeah,
but AJ Green was also -2. It's single game plus minus is noisy. I'm not basing my whole argument on that. I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. I've had enough of this experience. Your energy big off the bench. Can't box out Simone. Again, Simone Fontecchio did look like the juggernaut from the X-Men movies in the 2000s, so it's a little understandable, but didn't even try to box him out. Yeah.
But it's more than that. Like, it's not just like, oh, single game plus minus is noisy, which it is.
Yeah.
You can see it, like you mentioned. Yeah. And Simone Fontecchio looking like the Hulk coming against Bobby Portis, it's not an accident, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's, one's it can be like a correlation. I'm not saying it's necessarily full cause and effect, but those are correlated. Like, you see these guys, like Diabate, having massive outbursts against the Bucks because it's like, yeah, he's going up against Bobby Portis. Yeah. What are you supposed to do?
I'm going to pull a stat. What else interests you about the Bucks right now?
What else interests me about the Bucks right now? I mean, I feel like we're set on a rotation. We've talked about almost everyone. Oh, we didn't talk about Brook, really.
Yeah, struggled a little bit against the athletic bigs in this game, but still came through and had a good overall
Still
game.
Was a good rim protector. Still had 3 blocks. Led the team in plus minus, if we're talking about that. Because this team, like you mentioned, with Greg Buckner's defense, it's back to funneling shots at the rim, and Brook is going to deter a lot of shots at the rim. Once again,
God.
One of the leaders in contested shots. Oh, okay, I'm intrigued.
So when Brook is on the court, the Bucks grab 74.3% of the available defensive rebounds. This is like the advanced defensive rebounding stat. And I was looking this up for the whole league earlier because the Bucks were like 7th in this. So they're statistically a very good defensive rebounding team. So with Brook, they grab 74%. So let me actually give you the context and tell you what that is, like where that would place you in the league. This will not take long. That would be, what did I say, 74.3? 0.3 would be tied for first. That's how many defensive rebounds the LA Clippers grab. Again, it's like basically if there's 10 loose balls, when Brook's on the court, they're on the defensive glass, they grab, between 7 to 8 of them. With Bobby Portis on the court, the Bucks grab 69.4% of the available defensive rebounds. The only player with a lower figure on the Bucks is Chris Livingston, who obviously doesn't play very much. And 69.4% is not nice when it comes to defensive rebounding. That would be tied for the Denver Nuggets 25th in the league. So they go from the best to a bottom 5 defensive rebounding team. And Brook probably plays a lot of these minutes too.
Yeah, I was going to say,
it's the crazy thing.
Brook is up in there with Bobby a lot.
Brook or Giannis.
Yeah, I wish we could. I want to see like individual lineups.
I think we can do that actually, but I don't know if we have a great way to pull exactly what you're thinking fast enough. I know there's been, I believe, very few lineups with Bobby without Brook or Giannis, but I don't think the sample's even like worth discussing.
Yeah, it's just not big enough.
And then for the context, Giannis's number, I didn't look at it immediately. Go forward. I'll pull that up just for the sake of argument. It's 72.1. So closer to Brook than Bobby. Still not as good. That's the funny thing about Brook. Nobody understands. Like, he doesn't grab rebounds, but he boxes out better than anyone on the roster and most players in the league. So he's still a huge net positive to your rebounding. He's just not getting them, but he enables them to be gotten. And I think that is still lost on quite a few people. Brook, as with all things, is a huge net positive to the Milwaukee Bucks.
The Brook Lopez-Bobby Portis two-man lineup defensive rebound percentage is 72.3, which means that's carrying the Bobby lineup.
Well, what's the Giannis Bobby?
That's got to be bad. 66.5.
Horrible. 66.5 would be second worst in the league.
Second worst.
Portland. Portland.
With all their centers, they can't grab a rebound.
And they're not. Well, DeAndre Ayton, I would guess, without watching closely, probably also not a great box out player. Very funny. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, these are the things that we're talking about with Bobby. So even when the shots go in, like, there's just an impact on the rest of the game that he just doesn't do enough little things that I think the team needs him to do at this point, and they just don't need a post player offensively. When they're really hurt, they need him to score, and he does occasionally. But when they're relatively healthy, it's just not something they need anymore.
Yeah, I'm just looking at these lineups now. Can you guess the worst one? This one doesn't mean anything because it doesn't include any bigs. It's just a noise stat. But
the rebounding? Worst how many players?
Two. Which, again, it tells you nothing. Like, don't read anything into this.
It's probably is it like Gary and AJ Green?
Oh my God, I thought you got it for a second. It's Gary and Ajax.
And Ajax, not AJ Green. Yeah, it's because those bench guys play together with Bobby a lot.
Yeah, 63.1.
If you look at the overall numbers, it's like the bench players are really low because they're usually the ones out there with Bobby. It's not all on Bobby, but a lot of it.
TP is 63.7.
Yeah. It's just hard if you don't have a good box out player out there. And Giannis isn't a great Giannis grabs the rebounds. He's not usually a box out player. It should fall to Bobby. He just doesn't really do it.
Yeah.
It's a problem. So there's why the Bucks look like a worse rebounding team than they are. They usually play Brook. They're really good when Brook plays, and they're really not good whenever Brook sits.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull something up and see if I can do it real quick, but it's not going well.
That's okay. But I think we kind of got sidetracked talking about Brook. He did have 3 blocks, to your point. Like the speed of Duren gave him some problems, and Duren was able to score on him. But Brook, again, is able, against non-shooting bigs, as usual, to just take away, generally the rim. And he's going to get beat a few times, but he was a plus 25 in this game, even though he didn't have a great offensive game. He has hit shots lately, which has been a breath of fresh air, but he just continues to dominate the paint. Whenever he and Giannis are out there, the Bucks defense is just on another level, and the defenders around them have done a good job. Dame had a really good... did he not get credit for a steal on that when he flew in, and maybe it was a forced turnover, not a steal. He flew in and disrupted an entry pass when Brook rotated. It was really nice, but Brook's been great and clearly is really important to the Bucks, even if it's not always obvious based on his actual stats, his basic stats.
Yeah. This is not going.
Last player is AJ Green. I'm just going to keep talking. Last player is AJ Green. Was 4 for 4 in this game, 3 for 3 from deep. Had a nice pull up as well. 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 turnovers. I just felt like I think the fouls called on him had an impact on his defense. I think he started to kind of try and defend differently, or maybe the fouls got in his head a little bit. He had 5 personals. Most of them felt like pretty tough calls on AJ Green. I didn't think he was totally fouling on all of them. Sometimes I think, okay, it's a little obvious you're, pushing too much or jumping into a player's space too much. I thought this game, it felt like the whistle was just tough and it got to him defensively. But when you're able to knock down 3 good threes and just be the huge impact he had, or have the huge impact he has offensively, you can get away with nights like this. I hope to see his defense look better tomorrow, Wednesday night against Atlanta. I think it will. I'm not out on him as a defender. It wasn't a great game, but I think the whistle got to him a bit in this one.
Yeah, it definitely did. It was a bad stretch. Like, what was that? The third quarter where he had that, what was it? He got called for
He tried to call the block, and then just like on drives, I feel like it's very ticky-tacky sometimes when he's defending a driver.
It depends. And it's like he's got to get better about being sturdy. Like he has the frame and he has the body to be able to be sturdy, but he's like constantly trying to move his feet.
I'm just thinking of him doing the stanky leg now, so he's got to get sturdy.
He's getting sturdy.
Like a Cartoon Network character out there gets sturdy.
Now that'd
be fun. Yeah, that would be incredible.
But yeah, it's all about the footwork. He's got to learn the footwork because he has the tools, he has the skills. It's just about the footwork with him. He needs to be smarter about that.
Cade got him on a nasty spin, but Cade's just a nasty player. So
my Cade stock's paying off, man.
Yeah, I tried to go in on Ivy in my Dynasty Fantasy Basketball League. No, I didn't trade Cade for him, but
I told so many people to draft Cade this year.
Yeah,
and it's paying off.
He's good. Cade should request a trade to the Bucks.
Can you imagine? Did he come off the bench, or did he start?
He would start. let's not get. I think in that situation, maybe Middleton does. I was going to say
Chris comes off the bench in that situation. But do we have anything else we need to really discuss here? I feel like it's been a short pod.
We just blazed right through it. Oh, garbage time. AJ Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Smith had a really nice block that Doc was incensed, got called a foul. They challenged it with like 2 minutes left. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah, Doc. He deserves the block for that. It's beautiful defense. I thought a nice Tyler Smith stint overall, even though he did force a three. But AJ Johnson, man, tough miss where he tried to do way too much on athletic aerobatic layup. After that, though, knocks down a three, gets to the cup and converts, grabs a rebound, did have one turnover. He's just still too fast for his skis. Is that an expression you're aware of?
No.
Or is it too fast or too out over your skis, maybe? Something like that.
I don't know anything about skiing.
I don't know. I would die if I tried to ski. I know. Yeah. I'm not. I don't have the skills, I don't think.
I'm not built for that.
I don't do any of those kind of. I don't rollerblade or skate. I don't skateboard. I had a skateboard when I was a kid. I just used it to move heavy stuff around.
That's smart. That's engineering right there.
I mean, yeah, it's just, engineering.
It's just a dolly.
Yeah. Pretty wide one, though. Like, I'd see a free TV down the street and just be like, let's see if it works. Hop down on my skateboard and make it happen.
How many times are you seeing free TVs on the side?
You see free stuff. It's just like, I'm going to haul it back home. Let's check it out.
It sounds so endearing, like young Ty just doing that.
Yeah, I feel like I sound like a Huckleberry Finn character or something. I had straw in my mouth.
Just skateboarding down the block, seeing.
Yeah, probably just. Maybe I rolled it down. I probably just carried it though.
But anyway, Ty.
Yeah. No, the skateboard, not the stuff. The skateboard. Yeah, just dangerous. AJ Johnson though, what did you think?
Yeah, too fast, but it's like, oh, this kid's got bounce. He's got speed. Yeah. He's got the things that we saw. It just needs to translate to basketball.
It just needs more seasoning.
Yeah.
More herd time.
A lot more herd time, a lot more experience. Just a lot more seasoning. You're right. That's a good way to put it. Like he has the tools. Like he has the physical gifts. Like that's evident. Are you going to be Oh, what's a good comparison? I have the negative comparison, but I need the positive comparison.
What's the negative?
Josh Jackson.
Ooh, yeah.
Not Josh Jackson, Marquise Chris.
Oh, former Herd player.
I know.
Oh, I think Josh Jackson would have worked better, honestly.
Josh Jackson was deemed as more of a power player than an athletic player, which didn't make any sense because he was so small.
Yeah.
No wonder it didn't work out.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of that many.
Who's like a good, I can think of ones that are too lofty, like Russell Westbrook. That's way too lofty. Jaws, I think
Ja is the way too lofty, but like close-ish in player comp.
Yeah. He's not defensively skilled enough to be a Thompson twin.
No, he could, probably not. He won't get to them because they're already that good. He's a lot bigger than I always think he is. Not muscle-wise, but like height and
good comparison.
Wingspan. I don't know how many. No, I don't want to get carried away.
Again, Russ is the one that pops to mind, but he's not like that's too high.
Yeah. And I think he can be a better defender than that.
Yeah. Can he be a...
I can't think of him.
Can he be a Colin Sexton? He's small, though, and not really super athletic. Like, he is athletic, obviously, but...
He's athletic, yeah, but I think A.J. Johnson is quicker. I guess bigger Brandon Jennings? Bigger Brandon Jennings.
I guess, yeah.
I think he's going to end up being a pretty good player in like a year and a half. I really do.
So. That would be game-changing.
If you just look at like what he can do right now, it's like he gets to the rim against NBA competition. He just doesn't finish, but like I think he does the hard part. I mean, we saw Pat Connaughton mid-career learn to finish tough layups. Like I just think this kid's going to be able to finish the layups.
Giannis is learning how to shoot a mid-ranger.
Yeah, like I just they got their own little not pitching lab, but just a basketball lab down in Milwaukee Bucks HQ lately. It feels like I'm a believer, man. The way he looks, I'm just like you don't see players who can move that well with the ball. That's the thing. You see a lot of athletes come in, like that's fine, like just pure run down. He can dunk if it's open.
Jamal Murray. No, I don't.
No, he's not even that athletic. He's like relies more on the shot. I don't know, man. The way he moves with the ball, though, I'm just like, ooh, if he just gets like 20% better at finishing, that's like an NBA double-digit point per game scorer.
Yeah. Can you imagine him instead of DeLon Wright, like that idealized version of him as a backup point guard?
I think that's probably the 25-26 plan right now.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah.
That would change so much. That would extend the title window for this team so much.
Yeah. I mean, that was the point, right? Like, that's what they were seeing. They were like, Keyshawn George, cool hair, but just not sure you're ever going to be good. This guy in a year, 2 years maybe, could be, like, really good, whereas we're just not sure on anyone else. Tyler Smith continues to be intriguing as well.
Yeah, he just...
Probably the same deal.
Yeah. And Tyler Smith needs to work... Like, here's the thing about Tyler Smith. We think he's more currently NBA ready than A.J. Johnson. Do you still think that?
I still think that. I still think that.
I still think that, too, just because of the shooting ability and the size.
Athleticism, too. They're both athletes.
Yeah. Tyler Smith, I feel like, has more work to do to be a good NBA player.
Yeah, A.J. Johnson figures out one thing, and it's like he's probably a rotation player at worst.
Yeah. But Tyler Smith right now, I think, is a more NBA-ready player. But yeah, can you imagine the Tyler Smith, A.J. Johnson pick and roll? Is that the new Shaq Kobe?
I mean, that's the hope is by the end of this Herd season, it looks like that. It has not been a good start for the Herd, in part because of those guys. But we got a couple of good A.J. Johnson games. He just needs to play. Both of them just need to play. That's why I'm glad we see him a little bit with the Bucks, but I hope we see him a lot more with the Herd because they're both they have not played enough pro basketball. And it was great that these alternate pipelines to the NCAA came out because the NCAA was obviously bad and is still in a lot of ways bad, but not all of them worked well. And the G League Ignite didn't work well. Think about, is Jalen Green the #1 G League Ignite quote-unquote success story?
Yes.
It's not that good.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
It's not, but like he was highly touted going in.
Yeah.
It didn't make him.
Correct.
Not Scoot. I was going to say Scoot was drafted high. Not Scoot. It just feels like nobody came from that and like stepped into the league, the NBA, and was ready to contribute right away.
Overtime,
maybe I'm forgetting
more
someone.
Success than.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Well, I mean, it was just two players.
But
mostly
still.
just one. It's just I cannot. Here's my thing. I cannot get enough of watching Amen Thompson play defense.
Oh,
it's amazing. The
fact that they have him and Tari Eason is crazy.
No, just Amen Thompson makes the Rockets so fun. Like, that dude is a freaking monster. And this is year 2? Like, can you imagine what he's going to be like for his career?
Matas Buzelis.
Oh, yeah, Buzelis. He could be the best success story.
Also,
Marjan.
Dyson Daniels. But again, like, Dyson Daniels did not come into the league and be like, oh, Dyson, like he basically got bounced from his first team and now looks good. Which I would argue said it did not do a good job preparing him. Oh, Kuminga.
Oh my God, yeah.
But also again, though, Kuminga didn't exactly light it up right away.
Yeah, but still a good prospect.
And then Jaden Hardy. And Ron Holland is also a rookie.
Yeah. And Marjan.
I got really confused at first because he's like, it has the vets on here too. I was like, Jarrett Jack, Amir Johnson. Oh yeah, they were there as the old guys.
I forgot.
Yeah, you can keep saying Marjan. I would not call that a dub for the Ignite team. I hear you, but
I know. I just wanted to say it to be annoying.
It just showed up against the Heat and disappeared again. By the way,
that was great. We thought he was going to be a member of the rotation. We were saying Doc's like he's going to give him another opportunity, right?
Nope. Didn't even dress in this game when AJ Johnson, Ryan Rollins is alive. I guess that's you mentioned it earlier, but that's substantial that he played again. I mean, the way DeLon Wright is playing, I don't know why you wouldn't give Ryan Rollins more of a shot if you feel comfortable playing him. I guess we'll see. CL continues to just I don't know, just there.
It's not bad.
He's doing well with the G League.
Yeah,
he's scoring on a G League team that's not having any success overall. Henry Ellenson has really struggled, and Justice Winslow has been out since game one. Terrence Davis hasn't played yet, at least last time I checked. I don't think those guys have played much at all, so hopefully they can get healthy.
Who's out for the season? I forgot.
Philip Alston.
Yeah, Philip Alston, yeah.
Summer League Game 5 hero for the Bucks in that second half. You may remember. You probably don't. I remember. I do. Nice young wing player. Unfortunately, season-ending ankle injury.
So tough.
Yeah. A lot of injuries. But yeah, I think Tyler Smith, AJ Johnson, maybe Chris Livingston. I don't know. Who do you think is most likely? Let's put Rollins aside. If there was another vacancy for some reason, 4 guys are out for a week. Hopefully that doesn't happen anytime soon. But CL or Marjan?
CL?
Seems like Marjan, no?
I guess
CL has not gotten the Marjan burn at any point under Doc, I don't think.
That's because he's been assigned to the herd, though.
But that's up to Doc.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Do we know that as a fact?
I'm pretty confident.
Is that a horse decision?
I don't think horse cares.
Did I say horse on accident? Did the T come through?
Pina, the horse is here. That's I think if Doc goes, John, can you cover lunch today? Also, I want to give CL some burn. I don't think Horst is going to be like, no, I'm assigning him. We need him with the herd. It's all the Bucks come first. So if they desired to play CL at any point, I think he would be not assigned.
That's fair. Is it because the G League needs help though?
No, they don't care. They'll
give me CL. I need him.
No, they'll leave Bano out to dry, man.
I need him.
If they feel like they need... Tyler Smith hasn't been down as much as you'd expect. I think because he's the emergency big. So I don't think so.
Is that Liam Robbins?
I think he's playing more herd.
Yeah.
The Bucks are gobbling over 90% of their defensive boards when Liam Robbins is in the game, by the way. And it's 10 minutes. Yeah, he's number one. But obviously, extremely small sample.
Yeah, because it's garbage time and guys are missing shots.
Well, no, it's probably because nobody misses. There's nothing for him to grab. I don't know. I'm excited about the young core, though. I mean, we get to see some of them play actively, and hopefully we get Rollins.
Is this the most balanced Bucks roster we've seen in years?
Yeah, it's probably got...
Because there is a young core.
Yeah, it's half the roster. Not half, but it's a third of the roster at least.
As a Bucks team that's trying to contend?
No, because they just they're like, you know what? We'll pick up a couple of vets, but we're kind of sick of these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one more thing we have to do. You need to take your Giannis Antetokounmpo victory lap. Because now I'm seeing everyone wants him back.
Listen, they want him back for the wrong reasons.
Okay, don't do this. You have all the goodwill in the world. Don't do this.
I had my spot. I had my opportunity to shine. And I'm going to use it to advocate for more. Taurean Prince, we talked about him. Can you imagine Thanasis in that role?
I just thought you were going to stop it. Can you imagine Thanasis? I was going to say yes. I love that he's grinding his way into the 15th roster spot, like in a movie where someone shows up and asks for a job every day. He's just showing up and doing the job from courtside seats next to Peter Fagan. Assume he doesn't have to pay. I hope he doesn't have to pay. And like now everyone is watching him do this, and they're like, "We got to get this guy back on the roster.
We need him. He's not at road games. They need him at road games. The Bucks are like what 3-6 on the road or something like that.
They are significantly worse. They are 8-3 at home, and I believe the 3 that they lost he was not at, and they are 3-6 on the road. Yes.
So that's crazy. They need him at these road games. You know how you do that? You put him on the roster. DeLon Wright, gone. What about Thanasis? Thanasis as their backup point guard. I'm forgetting that he can't play this season.
This is probably not. Yeah, he's posting rehabs. He's working hard to get back, but I don't know if it's going to be this year.
Yeah, it's probably a next year thing.
I'm just glad he's at games.
Whatever games Rondo isn't at, can we have Thanasis?
They alternate?
Yeah. Because I feel like I only see Rondo like once every like 3 weeks.
Rondo's got a lot going on.
Like what?
I don't know.
He's his own man.
Oh yeah, if you're done with your NBA career, you made that much money, and you could just do whatever you wanted. How much time in December would you spend in Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
Probably a good amount of time because it's the greatest city in the world.
I love Milwaukee. I love Oshkosh. I think December, I'd probably catch some games from like a yacht.
Have you seen the new chandelier lights they've put up in the streets of Milwaukee?
No,
they're
I haven't.
Very beautiful.
I don't think I have.
Going out yesterday, and it's like the nights. It's nighttime. You're seeing all the beautiful lights. You're like, this is amazing. This is a wonderful city.
Yeah, I'm not denigrating. I'm not going ESPN here. I'm just saying, your main residence is in Malibu. Probably going to spend some time there in December. That's just me.
Yeah, probably. I'll spend some time in December. But
yeah.
You got to spend time with family for the holiday.
His family lives in Malibu. That's why I'm making
Mine doesn't.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying this: if you're Rondo,
you're saying if I, yeah, that's fair.
I'm like, yeah, let me complete it. Your family also lives in Malibu. You have a great house in Malibu. Your family lives in Malibu.
I would be in
Or
Malibu.
You can work for free for Doc Rivers, who's trying to expense everything.
Put it that way.
I mean, does he get paid? I don't know if he gets. I don't know if he gets paid. I don't know. Maybe he gets paid. He's not there regularly, so
you don't need your salary, right? You can give it to me.
I'm just trying to think of like Doc is just like finessing this, like get like someone's per diem is paying for Rondo or something. Maybe Doc
get per diems.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
How much is their per diem?
I don't know. I believe they do.
I mean, yeah, it's a work trip, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just fun to think about it that way.
Just handing Giannis an envelope with like $100 in it.
This is all you get, yeah.
Yeah, here you go.
You get the most.
Do you think Sterling era, was he just giving out like coupons?
Yeah. Austin Rivers was paying to be there.
It probably was. No wonder Doc traded him. Yeah. So that's not what we Rivers do.
I can't believe Doc traded his son.
But no, did he trade for him? Did he also trade him?
Or
maybe I thought he traded him. Maybe he didn't. Maybe I made that up.
If you did, I believe it. I'm on his Wikipedia now. Clippers.
I don't think he ever got traded. I lied.
He was traded to the Wizards in exchange for Gortat in 2018. Was Doc Rivers the GM then?
Oh yeah, 2018.
2018, he was the Clippers head coach. He gave up his post as president of basketball operations in 2017, so he did not trade Austin Rivers.
Yes.
Because the trade happened in 2018.
Lawrence Frank and Michael Winger were in there.
Yeah.
The Clippers drafted their backcourt of the future on Thursday, including Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jerome Robinson.
Where would the Clippers be if they kept Shai?
I don't know.
I think they'd be worse because they wouldn't have gotten Kawhi.
Of his father, Rivers wrote, "Me and Pops did something that has never been done in our sport, which was hard for a lot of people to understand, but I am grateful for the time I experienced playing for him and the Clippers."
That's cute, thinking about what we've got with the Lakers now.
This is a huge Instagram post Austin Rivers posted when they traded him. Wow. Anyway.
Did you trade for him, though?
He did trade for him.
That's funny.
And it was panned at the time, and he gave him a contract, and it was panned at the time, and he ended up being worth it.
Austin Rivers is a good role player.
He wasn't before then, but the confidence, he even talked in that statement about confidence. He got the confidence from Papa believing in him, and that was that.
That was that. That's all you need. That's a good life lesson to end this podcast on. All you need is some confidence. You have the skills.
Should we get into the Doc Rivers family relationship with Paul George, or save that for another pod?
I thought you were going to say Seth Curry.
No, that one's just positive.
Oh, yeah. That one's good.
Yeah, it's son-in-law, Seth Curry. Oh. Yeah, that's fun.
That's good. That's fun.
Paul George won. I think people forget.
With Paul George again?
I'll tell you off air.
Because I don't remember.
It's got a little nasty. Was in a relationship with Callie Rivers. Didn't end. It did end acrimoniously.
Alrighty, can't wait to hear.
Paul George was. Let me not Numak. Well, I don't know exactly what's confirmed, but I'm pretty confident.
Was he meandering?
I think he was meandering and philandering.
Not the Wombo combo.
Allegedly.
Allegedly meandering. Oh, man. On that note, we'll end this episode.
There is an article on nypost.com.
Of course.
In quotes, I believe this is the B word, but it's B -H. That's it. That's the quote and then semicolon that starts this article. The rest of the article title. I'm just sharing an article title. The love triangle behind Paul George's rock bottom playoff moment. Yeah, this was the bubble. Seth Curry dominates Paul George and talks a bunch of trash to him. Do you not remember? That was motivated.
Yeah.
That was motivated.
I do remember that. Wow, Doc must have felt really good about that one.
Yeah.
Too bad that he was coaching the Clippers then?
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah, because he stopped coaching the Clippers in 2020. And then 2020, 2021 is when he started coaching the Sixers. So yeah, that was against Doc.
Yeah.
But really, it's also really a win for Doc?
Really odd. I mean, I guess it was a win-win in some ways.
Yeah.
Weird. But yeah, anyway.
Now he's ours.
Yep.
And Paul George isn't, so that's good.
Which, shockingly, imagine, 6 months ago, if I was like, trust me, we're going to be really happy the Bucks have Doc Rivers and not Paul George.
It's crazy.
You're like, what?
It's crazy.
What a world.
It's amazing. It's amazing that the Sixers, by the way, they're 4 and something.
5 now? 5 now?
5? Wow, look at them.
Was this their 5th?
Getting to 5 wins?
They are now. They tied with the Hornets after that inspiring win over the LaMelo Hornets. So good for them.
Look at them.
Raptors put some space there, though. 2-game win streak for Toronto, keeping a half game above them. Keeping the Sixers in 14th. Yeah, 15 in a row losses is pretty tough.
They might get to Pistons.
What was the streak?
24?
Well, we talked about this last pod, didn't we?
I don't think we did.
Well, maybe it was someone else we talked about.
I don't know, but the Wizards, the Pistons record might only stand for 1 season.
Oh my God. Yeah, okay, so they need to beat Charlotte. Here's the next 7-ish games. Home Dallas, home Denver, Home Memphis, hard. Home Charlotte, gotta win. On the road in Milwaukee, on the road in OKC, home Charlotte again before the Knicks come to town. You gotta win one of the two Charlotte games.
Those are your only opportunities. Otherwise, you're going to be the Pistons.
I mean, Denver's sliding right now too, but
Good.
Should we do a toxic MVP segment? No, we'll wait.
We'll do that next pod. We got to save
we'll do that
for next episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've tried to end this episode like 3 times.
I know, sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's my fault too. But yeah, thank you for listening to this episode of the Eurostep here on Blue Wire and GSPN, presented by our great friends over at Prize Picks. Get them to 100 million users. Come on.
Let's do it. We got to be close. We got to be close.
Oh, it has to be. But yeah, make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening to or watching this podcast platform of choice, YouTube. Subscribe at gspn.info. Get exclusive GSPN After Dark pods. There's actually, we should have mentioned this up top. There's a free Primo episode up. GSPN After Dark episode if you go to GSPN.
Thanksgiving draft.
Yeah, one of a really fun one.
Yeah.
That pod.
Took some odd turns in the beginning, but it was a fun pod.
If you just want to hear us just being completely unhinged.
Yeah.
There it is. Me especially.
Is it like balls?
I feel like I go off the rails so much.
Well, there was just so much covered in what seems like a simple premise. Yeah, that's the fun of GSPN After Dark.
Yeah, it's a great time. Make sure you check that out if you want a taste of what $8 a month gets you. But yeah, make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening to or watching this. 5-star rating and review, like and subscribe. Pod random. We'll talk to you next time.